Hi there, and welcome back. You look great today. If you are watching this when it comes out, I hope you've been enjoying the lovely sunshine, and if you're watching this in the future, what's it like there? I'd love to see it sometime. Today, we're going to be looking at an old reality TV show that came out about 9 years ago, and you might be thinking, how is that topical? How is that relevant to today's society? Well, it's not at all, not in any way, not even in a tangential way, but it's relevant to me because I recently, last weekend, got my first ever tattoo. I got a tattoo on my arm and I was really happy with it, but it also hurt and is now very itchy and really insufferable. And it made me think of a few clips I'd seen of this tattoo reality TV show called Just Tattoo of Us. First of all, terrible pun of a name. You have to have the most English accent for that to work. Oh, it's just a two of us. But aside from the name, it also seems to have the worst and most despicable hosts I've ever seen, a terrible premise, and the most grating reality TV show vibe that you can ever access in this world. And so I thought we'd talk about it today. So again, not relevant. I mean, I've seen a few clips. It might have been going viral recently. I'm not sure. You might have seen a few people reacting to it recently. So let's get started.
Two people design tattoos for one another, but they don't see the design until it's inked and it's too late.
The general premise of this show is that couples or pairs of friends go to this place and they design a tattoo for each other in secret, and then the people have to get blindfolded during the whole session and there's a big reveal of what their tattoo is. Obviously, really insane to choose to go on this show. All of the people they show, some of them are like the most idiotic lads men ever, so I kind of get why they're going on the show, but then some people who don't seem that crazy are going on this show, which makes me definitely stop and pause because I'm like, why would you ever want to do this? I'm so close with my friends, but I have not reached a level of friendship with anyone where I would let them tattoo anything on my body because, newsflash, tattoos are permanent and I wouldn't want... I mean, I would ask a friend to help out designing a tattoo, but getting them to just do it blindfolded for national television and my reaction is recorded, that sounds like the most stressful, anxiety-inducing event in the world. So we're going to be looking at this episode today. It's called Sam Gets Pied. There's a few tattoos in it and a few reactions in it that are a bit hard to watch in a way that makes good commentary. So here we are. And I chose this episode not because there was not many choices, but because there were so many overwhelming amounts of just clips after clips of the most horrible and disgusting tattoos that some of which I wouldn't be able to show on YouTube. We're going to watch this full episode and we're going to ignore all those horrifying clips and instead we're going to watch a horrifying 43 minutes of this show. Don't worry, you don't actually have to watch all of it. I did. Yep. I had to watch the whole thing and that's your fault now. The show starts with their little introduction, which is big, reality TV, loud, and we meet our two hosts who are kind of the craziest type of human. You've got Charlotte, who is the classic reality TV show host. She's like kind of a bit friendly, she's a bit cheeky, she pokes fun at people, but she also has this kind of look in her eyes as if the world has long since gone numb for her, and all she feels is the cold. And then you have Scotty T, who is the weirdest and most eccentric, crazy guy ever. He seems overjoyed when people are horrified. He looks like he's trying to be every model, but also as if he's just the most British man in the world. And their combination of the two hosts is, quite frankly, difficult to experience.
I need a new co-host because I kind of broke up with the last one.
Well, never fear, cause Scotty T is here.
Then we meet our first couple. This is Bronty and Jack, and the immediate things they say is that they've had ups and downs in their relationship, and the hosts have to actively get them to say that they love each other, and they seem very hesitant to do this.
So, you love each other, you're a couple.
Yeah, definitely.
Come on!
Again, I'm not super close with anyone. I don't have like a partner who I would just let put a tattoo on my body, but if I'm not really sure about this committed relationship, I'm absolutely not letting them do this. And one of the first things that Bronte says about Jack is that her tattoo is getting revenge for things that Jack did to her in their early relationship to do with cheating.
The tattoo I've chosen for Jack is 100% revenge for how he treated me at the beginning part of our relationship.
So first of all, on her behalf, Why on earth is she with Jack? I cannot believe that she's stuck with this guy. And on his behalf, oh my god, why would you do this? If you cheated on someone and then they were like, hey, let's go on this show where I get to tattoo something on you that you don't get to see until it's permanently on your skin. I feel like it's probably the worst case scenario for anyone ever. So the hosts have this really boring section of the program where they chat to the couple, and this is where you really sort of get a vibe of the kind of reality TV show it is. It's MTV UK, so it's kind of like most reality TV shows where they had to fill 40 minutes. And what they have is like a thing where you go on, you explain who you are, you get tattooed, and you reveal it. But that could take 10 minutes. I mean, assuming they're going to edit out the hours of tattooing itself. So they need to really build it up. So they have a couple people and couples coming through this episode, but all the time you are bored waiting for it to get to the reveal. And obviously when they get to the reveal, they do like a long countdown and they spend a while on it and it takes forever.
3, 2, 1.
But generally in this episode, we just see them having these chats with the hosts and chats about each other, and it's very dull, so I won't make you watch all of it. But I do think it's kind of funny that the first conversation they have, they look so awkward to be with the hosts. And the hosts, no offense to them, seem to not really know how to be hosts because they're asking really friendly questions, and Charlotte's doing definitely a much better job than Scotty T, I would say. But they also seem like they're all being held at gunpoint in this warehouse. And I think that maybe they might be losing their minds, which is fair enough because it looks like a crazy jungle nightclub and you have to be there for a maybe 12-hour shoot. The hosts also seem to hate each other, which I think is fair because specifically Charlotte hates Scotty T and I hate Scotty T. One of the main things that Jack and Bronte talk about in this first discussion about their relationship is that Jack has had problems with being with the ladies during the early stages.
Jack used to have a bit of a way with the ladies.
So like I said, he cheated on his girlfriend multiple times and was very unfair on her. And Scotty T makes a sexual joke about his co-host and high-fives him for it.
Wait a second, you cheated on her?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Jack, don't, because me and you gonna fuck.
The show then shows us the hosts' reactions to seeing the designs that both people have planned. We obviously don't get to see them at this stage, but both seem like they're going to be horrifying and have horrifying consequences. My big question is, if you love your partner and you come on this show, surely you are actively dooming your relationship, because if anything goes wrong, you must have the idea in the back of your head, oh, I'm going to break up with them now. They just gave me the worst tattoo I can imagine in my life. I'm never going to see this person ever again. So it seems like a relationship doomer. And then we get, after some more boring stuff, we get to the tattooing phase. Now, both tattoos take a very long time. Jack is getting his on his chest, and Bronte is getting hers on her thigh, and both of them, of course, are blindfolded during the process. And we'll just take a moment to imagine what that experience is like. Okay, great, and that's it, until we get to the final reveal. Now, in the reveal, they do this weird thing where they, like, pick a completely random, just, like, idea of a number, and then they count down from that number, and then they reveal the tattoos. Now, Bronte goes first, and we see her unveil her tattoo, and it's an umbrella. And at first, you think, oh, that's probably not that bad. But then she just walks away silently, gives the glasses to her boyfriend, and has to go in a corner. So it's obviously quite hard to watch. And that's the thing about this show is I don't understand how it got made, because physically when I watch this, it makes me want to be sick. I feel so awful for all of these contestants. And again, you know, it's your fault that I had to watch this. She then explains to Charlotte, the host, that this tattoo of an umbrella is the same as he has on his ankle that he got from his ex-girlfriend, that he cheated on her with.
He's got that tattoo on his ankle, and that tattoo the tattoo is for 8 hours. And his girlfriend, he told me he was still in love with, her name was April.
So this tattoo isn't just a tattoo right near her thigh that she didn't expect and also doesn't look very nice, no offense. And must have been painful because it's like fully shaded in umbrella. But also, It's literally him putting a reminder on her that he cheated on her early in their relationship. How on earth he thought that this would be a good decision, I cannot imagine. He mentions when she comes back to Scotty T, the world's worst host,
It's only an umbrella.
that he thought that she might laugh. And first of all, if you were 100,000% sure that she would laugh, I would be a bit like taken aback, because I'm like, you thought that your girlfriend would laugh at you sort of saying, oh yeah, now you've got a permanent reminder that our relationship is unstable. But then also, you thought she might laugh?
I don't know, I just thought, you know, it was a bit of a light-hearted joke at the start.
You weren't even sure and you got that tattooed on her? She's literally got that for the rest of her life now. It's insane. Thank God there is some closure though, because we then get to see Jack's tattoo. And you might have been like, oh God, how on earth could she sort of return the favour? But she does it in a very brilliant and quite practical way. Jack reveals his tattoo and it's a picture of her face saying, I have a girlfriend. And this I would normally, like, to be clear to all the people commenting being like, you were so much harsher on Jack than you were on Bronty. Normally, if that was the first tattoo revealed, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, that's a terrible tattoo. Why would you put that on your partner? It A, must have taken so long to do. B, I don't think it looks very good. It's not the most flattering image of her, and also is in a weird place on his chest. And C is a bit like, okay, it feels like you're trying to guilt trip him for the rest of his life. But having seen what he did to her, this is the most valid and beautiful revenge that I've ever seen on reality TV. He now will, for the rest of his life, after they break up, which I'm guessing 1,000% that they do, and if they don't, I feel so awful for Bronty, but once they break up, he's going to have to explain that to every single partner he ever has for the rest of his life. And that is beautiful, because imagine you're like with someone and you take your top off, and then they're like, oh my God, what is on your chest? Do you have a partner? Is this not okay? And then you have to explain, no, it's all fine. I cheated on this girl last time I was in a relationship. Don't worry, I promise I won't do that to you. And then I gave her a really awful tattoo. Don't worry, I promise I won't do that to you. And then she gave me a really awful tattoo. I don't want you doing that to me. I've had it happen once. And we did it on national television, and hundreds of thousands of people have seen it. Do you still want to be together? And the answer to that will always be no. The second pair we see on the show are Sam and Simon, and they're both best mates, and they've come on the show because one of them, Simon, wants to stitch Sam up, and the other one, Sam, thinks that it's a really lovely idea and that he's going to have a great time with his friend. And as the host points out, I do not know why you would not check and watch some episodes of this show before you signed up for it.
I don't even think Sam's watched this show before. He's screwed.
They both have some pretty boring banter and they chat about them being friends, and they seem a bit closer. And to be honest, it's weird that these two, I can immediately sense, will get nicer and less horrific things on each other than the two people who were in a relationship that they felt they would have to continue. Like, if you're with a friend and you go on this show and it's horrible, you never have to speak to them again. If you're with a partner and you might be like living together, God forbid, then you still have to like get all your stuff out of their house or vice versa. But these two have their tattoos, and then we reveal why the episode is called Sam Gets Pied. And to be honest, it's not a good tattoo, but it's not as horrific as the meaning behind the umbrella one or the I have a girlfriend face tattoo, because it's a weird looking pie with a lot of weird steam coming out of it. So not too bad. But has Sam stitched Simon up? No, not really. I mean, the placements of both are quite kind, because if it's on your thigh, then it's so easily coverable, which I think is nice. But he's just given Simon a parking ticket tattoo for some reason. And it's because he gets a lot of parking tickets, I think. So to be honest, if you're the kind of person where, you know, everyone has different opinions about tattoos, and some people get tattoos because they like just having like a little joke tattoo and it doesn't mean that much to them. And if you're that kind of person, I imagine the parking ticket thing isn't that big of a deal. It's like, oh, that's funny because I used to get a lot of parking tickets. I still think you might regret it in maybe even less than 1 year, but even still, I think it's fair enough.
Are you still friends? Come on.
And then we get introduced to a final pair to end the episode. The final pair are Rihanna and Kira, and they have been best friends for 8 years. They're the most charismatic, having the chats with the hosts. Both the other pairs seemed so awkward. These two are kind of just like, yeah, we're best friends, we met in school, it was kind of nice.
How long have you been best friends for?
8 years.
So how did you meet?
In school.
Yeah.
I took her like kind of under my wing.
Scotty T and Charlotte are kind of a bit weird with them, and then we get to the design portion of the show again, and then we get to the reveal portion, which is obviously the portion I get to. Again, there's a lot more in these episodes, but I'm skipping to the interesting bits because I strive to be less boring than British reality TV television. And unfortunately, these two best friends have one of the worst hit rates on the show, because the absolute worst situation happens. With the couple, both tattoos were awful, but that kind of meant there was a sense of vengeance. With these two, the first tattoo we see is horrific, and the second tattoo we see is not that bad, which makes for the most horrible watch because you're seeing as one friend took the joke way further than the other, and they will have to live with that for the rest of their lives. Kira's tattoo is so bad that I cannot show it on YouTube, but it is on her back for the rest of her life, and it's of her completely naked doing a not very pleasant thing, and the reaction is immediately horrific. Even Scotty T mentions that this is kind of a crazy thing for anyone watching the show to see. And then Rihanna's tattoo is just a spade and some bars of gold. So it's like a gold digger joke. And that's it. And then the show just ends. And they made multiple seasons of this show. What the actual hell?
What a first day. I am literally made for this job.
So that's been our journey into Just Tattoo of Us, a 9 years old reality TV show that has no relevancy other than I got a tattoo, and you know what? I'm feeling very, very good about my tattoo right now because it is not from a partner who I will then immediately have to break up with. It is not a reminder of our relationship being bad. It is not someone's face. It is not a parking ticket or a pie. It is not a horrifying image, and it is not just a spade in some gold. So that's the end of this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, and if you would please care to subscribe, it would help me out so much. We are so close to hitting 1 billion subscribers, and every time you subscribe, we get closer to that goal, technically. I'm hoping to reach 1 billion by the end of time and the end of the universe, and I hope you have a lovely week. Bye.